What's going on, guys? Welcome back to part 14 of building Twitter using UIKit and Google's Firebase. So in this part, we're going to submit all the information that the user has provided to Google's Firebase, and then we're going to flip this "has user been onboarded" to true. So without further ado, let's just get started. First of all, I noticed that we forgot actually to call this really important function that we have to use in order to validate the form. So over here inside the ProfileDataFormViewController, inside the text, did change view so that when we assign a value to the bio itself, then we should validate the user as well. So if some of you guys have been testing and saying that the submit button is not enabling once the user has finished entering all the information, then this is the bug that we have fixed. Alright, so over here, let me just go back to my ProfileDataFormView model. As you can see here, this is how we are handling the failure case. However, I just need to modify something in here. Basically, first of all, I'm just going to delete this variable over here. So let me just go up in here, delete my published URL variable, because we already have this variable over here, which is the avatar path. So down here, I'm just going to assign that to my avatar path, and over here I can just access the absolute string. So this is how we convert basically from a URL object to just a string. And then we're going to also change the way that we are using here to handle this failure case. So over here, let me just delete this, and instead I can just switch on the completion, and as you can see here, I get access to the same error case. Over here, I'm just going to print my error, and also I'm just going to assign this to my error variable over here. So localized description for error. And over here, I'm just going to leverage this finished flag. So whenever I'm finished uploading everything and getting the download URL for my avatar, I just need to basically invoke another function that I'm going to use to actually submit this data to Google's Firebase. So over here, let me just create this function really quick, and I'm going to make that function actually a private function, because this is the only way for accessing this function, because I don't want to leave this function accessible by the view model itself. So only this class is going to be able to call that function. So over here, let me just name that function something like update user data. And over here, let me just type self, or basically my optional self over here, and update user data. All right, so inside my update user data, I just need to make sure that I have the correct information over here. So let me just do that, and here's a cool Swift feature that we can do, which is basically making guard let display name, let username, let bio, and also we can get the let avatar path. All right, so let's just type else return. So up at this point, we have the display name, username, bio, and the avatar path, and also those are no longer optionals. And over here, I'm going to pass those data to basically a function that I'm going to create right now inside my database manager. So let's just do that. So inside here, let me just say collection, right? So collection users update, or basically update fields, which is basically going to take a dictionary that takes a string to any. So basically this is going to be the value. This is just going to be the type of the key itself. And over here, let me just type something like for ID, which is basically going to be the ID of the user. This function also should return basically Boolean, so that we can check if the true value exists. So that means the request has been succeeded. And over here, we can just emit an error if there's any. And let me just type db.collection users path. And over here, let me just say document ID, which is basically the document that holds the information for our user. And over here, let me just type update data, and also let me just pass the update fields over here. And over here, maybe I can just map basically I'm gonna use this. So basically, if everything went okay, that means I can return this true value over here. And also we can just erase to any publisher so that we can conform to this return type over here. So basically that's it, and this is actually the beauty of using combine. Everything is so simple, everything is actually concise and to the point. You can get what this function actually does just by looking at the name of it, and that's it for this variable, or basically this function over here. So let me just go back to my basically view model over here, and over here let me just say let updated fields, and over here let me just say that this is going to be of a type string to any. And let me just start by populating this dictionary over here. So first of all, the display name should be equals to a display name, and as you can see, it's no longer an optional. And over here, username, right? So let me just pass the username. Over here, bio, I'm going to set that to bio as well. And what do we have next? I believe that's the avatar path. So avatar path, this is going to be an avatar path, which we have gotten over here, and basically receive value is going to run before the is finished, so that when we run this function over here, we are 100% sure that the avatar path exists. And also here we're just using those to unwrap to make sure there's no empty string is going to be passed over here. And before that, we just need to change this variable over here as well. So let me just go back and copy this, because I just need the exact name of that. And over here, I'm just going to set that to true. So basically, display name, we've taken that, username, bio, avatar path, and also is user onboarded. Then we can just pass those to my database manager, shared, collection users, update fields. I'm just going to get my username, or basically the ID as well over here. So let me just say, right, so let ID is going to equals to auth.auth.current ID, or basically current user UID. And basically we can just use the same guard statement over here. So pass this ID, and over here let me just pass the updated fields. Right, so we're just going to sync over that. So completion if case failure, or basically let me just type failure, let error, which is going to be of equals to completion in that case. So if this case over here is just going to be equal to a failure case as well, we've done that already. So let me just print the localized description of my error, and also we can basically capture the weak self over here. So self.error is going to be equals to error localized description. And over here, let me just type over here basically something like updated. And over here, let me just make use of that function. So I'm just going to basically create a new published variable over here. So published variable is onboarding finished. It's going to be a Boolean variable of false default value over here. And whenever we get this true, which is going to be from over here, so or 100% that this is a true variable. Once we get that, basically we can flip this. So weak self, we can just assign that to is onboarding finished, and we can basically call that update state, right? Or basically onboarding state, that makes sense. So onboarding state, and let me just pass that over here. And last but not least, we just need to store our subscriptions, and that's it. So basically, whenever we are done with uploading the image, we're going to fetch the URL. We're going to update the avatar path using this URL. And over here, we're just going to finish this by updating the user data. We're going to take the display name, username, bio, and the avatar path, and we're going to flip this from false to true. And whenever we are finished with this, we are going to notify back our view model that this onboarding is finished. This is when we are listening for this basically onboarding finished. So let me just go back to my ProfileDataFormViewController over here, and inside my bind views method, let me just go up in here, and I believe, yeah, that's the one. All right, and as you can see here, we can just use that to dismiss our ProfileDataFormViewController. So let me just say viewModel.is onboarding finished, but I'm only interested in the publisher version of it. So I'm just going to sync over that, and I'm just going to receive this handler. So basically, let me just get the state of that and store this as well inside my subscriptions set. Weeks here, I can make something like week self so that we don't fall in a memory leak or anything like this. All right, so as you can see here, once I get my state, maybe I can change that to a success. All right, so I'm going to check if this is a success, which I'm pretty sure it is. Basically, I'm just going to use myself, and I'm just going to dismiss this view controller, and also I'm just going to pass in true over here. So I believe this is done already. So let me just hit build and run to see if that is actually working. So yeah, I believe everything is going to work because the logic seems fine. We've been coding for so long, I believe, since the beginning of this video. So let's just try. So let me just upload my avatar over here. My display name is going to be Amr Hussein, and my username is going to be Amr. And over here, I'm just going to type an iOS developer. As you can see here, the submit button is actually enabled. So let me just tap on submit, and let me see what do we get. So basically, yes, everything is set up over here. And yes, as you can see here, the view controller is dismissed programmatically. We haven't touched that. So I believe we have everything is set up inside Google's Firebase. So let's just go to our Google's Firestore and see if that information is there. All right, so let's just go to my Firebase dashboard over here. I'm just going to choose, where's that? So I believe that's the Firestore database over there. Okay, so here's my user. Here is my user over here. And as you can see here, everything is set up. So I have my avatar path, I have my bio created on, which is basically very important so that we can show which time this user was created on Twitter, display name, the followers count, following count, and the ID. And basically the is onboarded is going to be flipped to true, so that whenever we log in back to our account using the same credential, of course, we're not going to be presented by this profile form view model again, or basically the profile view controller. I'm not know what I'm saying actually right now, but you get the idea. And my username is actually set to over here. All right, so that is awesome. So the next thing that we need to do actually before we end up this video, we can just go to my profile view controller over here, and basically I just need to fetch all of these data when this view controller, or basically when this profile is being shown to the user. So over here inside my view models, let me just create a new Swift file. I'm just going to call that profile view, right? So profile view model. And this is going to be a final class, which is going to be with the same name over here. So final class profile view model, which is going to conform to the observable object. Over here, I'm just gonna use combine, and let me just make my subscription set. So private var subscriptions. All right, so subscriptions, which is going to be a set of any cancelable. All right, and over here, let me just do this function really quick. So over here, I'm just going to say published. All right, published var user, which is going to be a Twitter user, which is going to be an empty or basically an optional user for now, which we are going to populate using this function. So retrieve user. I believe we have this function over somewhere here inside my home view model. Basically, I can just take the same thing over here, or basically, actually, this is going to be all of the data that I'm going to need. So let me just copy those really quick and paste those over here. And as you can see here, we have private var subscriptions, and basically everything is set up over here. We just need to import, I believe, auth from Google's Firebase. So yeah, firebase.auth. And I believe my profile view model is set. So over here inside my profile view controller, basically we just need to convey those variables to our profile table view header. I believe this is the profile table view header, which we're going to take a function to populate all of these items. So over here inside my profile view controller, let me just create a new instance of this view model. So view model is going to be a profile view model. All right, and down there, let me just create this function really quick. So private func bind views. And let me just say, basically, I'm going to create a configuration functions basically to the header views over here. So profile header. And as you can see here, we have so many things that we have. The profile label for followers, the following count, the following text label, the following count label, and all that kind of stuff. So we need a way actually to configure those variables on the fly. However, I can just be smart about it. And basically, since we're going to change the display name over here, so let me just say that's to a var and actually remove this private indicator. And also I'm just going to do this with the username as well. So as you can see here, let me just do this, and this is my bio. I'm going to do this actually with all the fields that I want to have access for, and the joined image, or basically this is not the one actually. We just need to have this join date label actually set to a var. And over here, let me just remove that, and also I removed the private as well from here. The following count, let's just do the same, enable that to be an internal for internal use only. And I believe the followers count as well. I'm just going to remove that. Basically, that's it. I believe that's all that we need. And then we're just going to go over here. And as you can see here, the header view is only accessible through this variable over here, which is not good actually. So we can modify that, and basically let me just type private var header view, which is going to be a profile table header view, I believe. And basically I just can copy this initializer over here. All right, so let me just do this. And over here I can just take that header view and pass that over to my header view down there. So yes, we no longer need this, and we can just count on this header view to be initialized from here. And yeah, I believe we just need to also set that to a private lazy var so that we can have access to the profile table view. All right, and yeah, that's it, I believe. And over here inside my bind views, I'm just going to say view model dot user. All right, so whenever I'm able to see a user, actually we're going to receive that, or basically sync, and we're going to receive that value. So let me just type awake self user, and over here let me just type guard let user is going to be equals to user, else return. And that's it for unwrapping the user. We can actually use those variables over here. So self dot header view. And since we have access now to our display name, so our display name is going to be equals to a user display name self dot header view dot username is equal, or basically that is going to be equals, sorry, I forgot the word text over here so that we don't get an error. So text is going to be username dot username from the user actually. And also we just need to do the same thing with the followers count. Believe, yes, that's it. So the followers count label is going to be a user dot followers count self dot header view dot following count label is going to be equals to user dot following count. And I believe that's it. And also we just need also to say self dot header view dot bio, right? I believe, yeah, user bio label text. Let me just assign that to the text as well. So text is going to be equals to user bio, and I believe that's it. So let me just make sure that this is actually working. And as you can see here, this is of a type double. We're just going to need to cast that to an string first. So let me just use this method over here. So let me just pass that inside my bracket over here so that we can actually pass in a double over here, and then we can convert that to a string so that we can use it over this label over here. And let me just store that in my subscriptions. Right, let me just create this really quick over here. So private var subscriptions, which is going to be a set of any cancelable, and also we're gonna have to import combine to have access for that. So combine, and over here, where did it go? So yeah, any cancelable, which is going to be an empty set for now. So let me just format this file one more time. So as you can see here, I'm binding my views. So once I'm receiving a user, I'm just going to update all the labels inside my header view inside this method over here. All right, so that looks cool. Basically, yes, that's the one. So we just need to call this bind view method inside of my view.load over here. And over here, let me just build and run, and hopefully we're going to get this thing working at the first time. So let me just check if that is okay. So yeah, once our simulator decides to open, so as you can see here, once we go to my profile, as you can see, we still don't have our values updated for some reason. And basically this is because we forgot actually to call the profile, basically the retrieve user function from here. So let's just do this. So as you can see here, we can have access to the did appear. So basically the view did appear, we're going to say super view did appear animated. So view model dot retrieve user. And also we don't need to have any fake data anymore. So my display name label, that is gone. Let me just remove all of these. So yeah, also the username gone, label for the bio as well gone. And maybe we can configure this at the next episode because this is getting too long. So following count is going to be also null. Let me just remove that as well. And yes, that's everything I need to do with my profile table header basically. So let me just go back in here, and I believe there's something missing over here, which is basically the @ sign. Let me add that really quick. So let me just do @ and I'm just going to pass in my username as well over here. So yeah, that's it for the most part. So let me just build on one. I hope that is going to work. Yeah, maybe I can change this view that appear to view will appear so that we can get things more instantly. So as you can see here, Amr Husam, Amr, and as you can see here, this is going to be double. So for some reason we made that double. So let me just check if we can change that really quick. So yeah, we can basically make that an integer because yeah, followers count, this is just a whole number. There's not going to be any fraction or anything like this. So let me just pull that one more time over here, build and run, and I believe this is going to work. Profile, and as you can see here, yes, the following and the followers are now 0 and 0. All right, so also let me just try to use this function instead inside the view will appear. So view will appear, super, and basically let me just call this function. I believe this is going to work as well. So yeah, let me just see if that is actually working. So here's my simulator. Let me just go to my profile, and as you can see here, we get the results basically faster without this you know, weird effect that we had at first. So let me just go back, go to my profile one more time, and as you can see here, we have our updated text, or basically updated data for this actual user. All right, so the next thing that we need to do to actually finish this profile thing, we just need to somehow convert the avatar path to an actual image over here. So this is when we are going to add a new package to our project. So let me just go to Safari one more time, and over here let me just search for SDWebImage. So as you can see here, we can just get to this first link that Google's suggest over here, and basically this is the library, or basically the package that we're going to use for viewing our images. And as you can see here, it supports caching, so this is really good. So it saves us the headache of just caching the image ourselves, and basically it doesn't call the network so often because it already has this. So let me just copy this repository from here. As you can see here, we can just go back to our Xcode project, and over here from file, let me just select file, add packages, and over here I'm just going to paste in this this link over here and just hit add package, and we're going to wait until Xcode finishes fetching all the code for this package. All right, so we're done over here. So I just need this first one over here. So let me just mark this SDWebImage, and I'm just going to say add package. And let me just go back to my basically my header view. So over here, let me just go to the profile table view header. And yeah, I believe we can do this from here, from the profile view controller itself. So let me just import SDWebImage. I believe this should be working. So SDWebImage. I believe this is going to be okay. Let me just hit Command B to build the project and make sure everything is set up and all the files have been indexed to Xcode already. I'm not seeing any errors, so yeah, that means we can actually import the SDWebImage. And down here inside the bind view method, I'm just going to reference the header view one more time. And actually, let me just go to the header view itself, because I don't believe the image view is set to internal instead of public yet. Or I'm sorry, instead of the private. So let me just go down here, and yeah, over here the profile image view. We're just gonna have to delete that because we don't need actually an image inside of here. And the background color also gone, and let me change that to a variable instead of basically a constant, and remove the private word or the access modifier. So over here inside my header view, I'm just going to say profile avatar image view, and over here let me just say SD, and I believe we have this set image. And basically, set image is going to take a URL which we can pass using a string. This string is going to be from my user, and let me just pass over here the avatar path. This is going to work. Let me just hit Command R to build and run this project, and we're going to see something really interesting over here, because up to this moment we've been coding with hard-coded data. So this is going to be the first time actually we see something over here. And as you can see here, the Batman logo that we have added earlier. Maybe we can change the aspect fit of this. So yeah, we can just say image view.content mode. This is going to be set to scale aspect fill. Yeah, I believe that's the one. So let me just hit build and run one more time. And since SDWebImage is caching the image, the next time you open this profile, you're going to see this image instantly. And as you can see here, yes, we have everything set up. So that's it for this part. So if you enjoyed watching this episode, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. That's going to be very much appreciated from my end. And if you have any question, just leave them in the comment section down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed walking through this course so far. So again, that was Amr. Happy coding and stay safe.